Welcome one and all to this 70th, that's 70, to the 70th episode of D&D with me, Mike.
And me, Zoe.
And today we should be working on our new enemy, but I feel quite tired, so I don't know that that's what we're going to do. What we're probably going to do instead is we are going to work on... Oh, what a throw. We're going to work on the fact that the bombs are stupid. So, for example, this bomb, see, will follow me, then go through the wall, then get stuck inside of me, and then explode. So this needs to be fixed. And the reason why all of this is happening is because we're moving the bombs using the transform, I think. Or something to that effect. So let's try and take a look at the code for the patrol of the enemy and see if we can fix that. Now, the reason why we're doing this first is because we are going to need it for the other enemy too. So the other enemy needs to be able to fall and all sorts of things. So we need to take a look at the enemy class. So let's see, patrol routine. There it is. Now, for rotation, we can leave it alone. That's normal that we are rotating the transform. But for the movement, so if not rotating, that's the problem. Transform.position equals vector3.lerp, direction, position, blah, blah, blah. And S-pause, E-pause. So that's one problem. That's not the problem. That's how they patrol. It's not really a big deal because they're always patrolling on land.
Yeah.
But we don't know that that's the case. So, there's a few things I don't know. I don't know if the rigid body is active or not. So that's interesting too. Let's see. Setup enemy. Enemy bomb setup. I don't see anything that has to do with the rigid body, so it's not there. It might be here. Hit Control F. Never used. Okay. So in that case, we should be able to do it here.
Okay.
So you want to apply a velocity to the rigid body. So go rb.velocity. Wait. This is lerping. Okay, never mind. This is gonna be a problem. If we're doing it with a lerp, then we have to keep it as it is. If we are doing it without a lerp, then we could use the velocity, but we would get imprecisions. Yeah. I mean, unless we lerp the velocity and then lerp it back down, that would be substantially more complicated than I'm willing to go. So let's go to the aggression routine instead.
Okay.
And there's the enemy bomb, pass in time, transform, rotation, that's fine. And that's just for the initial bit. And then transform, translate. That's the one. So this one we can comment out. And we can say RB dot velocity equals, and it will be vector3.forward, but wait, compared to ourselves. So it would be transform dot transform direction. There. And then vector3.forward. And I don't think this needs the delta time. Multiply by speeds 1. Close round, semicolon. Now, I don't know how this is going to work. It may have borked it quite a bit, but it should function.
Okay.
So the patrol should be completely unaffected.
Exact.
It's not moving. could this mean that the enemy bomb's rigid body,
Is locked? Yeah.
its freeze position on X and Z? That's the issue. The rotation is fine.
Yeah, we saw it. He flew.
We don't. I'm not sure why or how come he flew. So let's pause here and take a look. We forgot to add gravity to it.
Oh, yeah.
So rb.velocity creates a vector 3 here. And call, actually not here, sure, and call this one movement direction. Now copy it, paste it here, cut this, equals paste, and new vector 3. Open, copy, paste .x, comma, rb.velocity.y. So we're keeping whatever y we have, comma, paste .z, close, semicolon, save. Okay, and now we should have that working, and the bomb should actually possibly crash into the ground, or we'll see.
Stuck.
So it is stuck there, which is interesting. So the issue there is the same problem that we have in platformers, meaning that now your character is pushing into the wall, and effectively that's acting as a wall climb.
Oh.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why this is occurring is because the gravity is being applied. Gravity is being applied by the game, not by us artificially.
Oh.
Let me think. The collision with the wall would be an issue.
Shouldn't it blow up on touch?
Yeah, but it doesn't do it with the ground.
Oh.
Because it collides with the ground on the ground.
Oh, yeah, so it counts as you're walking on it. Bombs don't
That's
blow.
right. Well, unless we go and modify the enemies, which we probably should. So let's take a look. So the problem is going to be this capsule collider over here. This one acts as our collision for standing, right? And that's fine. The problem is when this one collides with something else, like the wall, for example, is gonna go kaboom, and that's going to happen, right? And there's very many ways in which this can be done differently.
Okay.
And then you would need to check against the ground as well if the explosion can reach us or not, because technically we're only checking against wall. So that's another problem. Actually, tell you what, let's first address that. So it would be in the game manager, I'm fairly sure, and it's explosion check layer, map obstacle and player. It would need to be
Water.
map ground
That means we're...
and map ground, because the map ground basically and map ground, it checks if the thing is colliding into the ground. So now the raycast, when the bomb is gonna wall climb there, right, it should see the wall and not hurt us. Perfect. So that's one step in the right direction. Okay. Now the second step would be to detect that collision.
And then blow up the bomb.
Yes. Now let's see here. On collision, enter. If aggressive.
This, and that, die.
Yes, I can see
add
that.
something
But if
else.
you add map ground, you're going to have...
It's gonna die as soon as it starts moving.
Yeah. Well, or as soon as it transitions from one box to the next.
Yeah.
There are very many solutions to this problem. I'm thinking about the possibly, like, you know, the cheapest or something like that. And the cheapest will surely have something to do with the prefab. We could have a composite collider of some sort. So this one is on layer enemy, and the capsule collider is on layer enemy. If we okay, one thing we can do is this. We can go to our model and create a collider. Type COL. Sphere collider. Okay, now obviously that's too large, so we need to reduce its radius. And I don't know that the nose should count, so let's put it at 0, 0, and 0.5, and reduce this further. There you go. So something along these lines, 138 is probably fine. It's hard to say. Negative 0.1, 2. Oh, never mind. This is going in this direction. 0.45678. Okay, that seems fairly reasonably right. We can probably improve it a bit. I think it's wrong on the X. It's also wrong on the Y. It looks like this thing isn't centered right. Well, that's fine. We'll live with this issue. Will we? I really don't like it. 3.4. Okay, so 0.101. Okay, and 0.01. It's less than that. 0.56. Let's do this ridiculous number over here. And there. Right?
That works.
Yeah, it's fine. It's acceptable. So that's one collider, and it's presently marked as enemy. We should probably set it to something else, and we'll see what in a moment. Now, and this other one, the capsule we've got, we are going to reduce it in radius drastically. .2. There, that'll do. Something like that. Now, we need to make it so that one of these is on a different layer. It would be the model. Or the model needs to have another rigid body on it that detects collisions and then makes a decision. Could be okay. So let's add a component. Let's create a script in our micropurpose and create custom collision. I'm not a huge fan of this. we should think about better solutions, but it's fine. We're gonna stick with this for now. So custom collision, we're gonna drag it up here. This also means we need a rigid body here, and which we're gonna lock completely. Type R. Okay, and it's gonna be everything blocked. In fact, it might start saying, actually, you need to be something. Not kinematic though. We need it to detect stuff. Don't use gravity. Just don't do anything. Just stand still. Okay, so that's fine. So this rigid body should already work. Let's immediately see if it's working. We're not gonna do anything else for now.
Whee! I saw it. What the heck?
This is the rigid body causing things. It's kinematic, interpolate none.
There's a place called Info that's closed.
Wait. Oh, I see. I think it's enemy colliding with itself.
Oh.
Ah, fudge. I've got a much better idea. I think. Yes, I do. Okay, let's remove this. We can remove this as well. And we can delete custom collision. I've come up with an idea. One thing we haven't used at all is a trigger collider.
A trigger.
Yeah, so if we go back to our, I think it was 0.38, I think. Now you see that this one's smaller than the outer circle.
Mm-hmm.
Not by much, but it is smaller in every direction. It should be. So now we're gonna go to this model and tell it this sphere collider is actually going to be trigger. And now this should work exactly the same as usual. Nothing should really happen. Spot me. Thank you. Okay. It's working exactly as usual. Perfect. Because the trigger isn't doing anything. And here you can say void on trigger enter. Careful. You
Whoops.
must have pressed something. I don't know what. On trigger enter. There it is. Okay. Delete private. Type C. Save. Okay. Now let's go with if aggressive. So hold shift. Copy. Pasta. Enter enemy bomb. Water collider. So if we collide with water,
We should die.
should explode. So it's not C collider, but just C. Attach rigid body, water, map, obstacle, player, enemy, interactive object, die.
If the bomb collides with an enemy, is able to collide with an enemy and hurt the enemy
Yeah.
while it's hurting himself, then maybe we could make a puzzle before we get the sword with a demon that you can't hurt by kicking it, with bombs everywhere that you can use.
Okay, we can worry about that in a moment. So here you go, case, map ground.
So I had typed it wrong.
Tab dot map ground. Okay, there it is. Colon, and remove this as well. Save. Now I have removed die from a collision. It's now only caused by this trigger. Now we're gonna have to test it basically everywhere.
Okay.
So now it should go aggro. It's aggressive. Oh. Okay, so that worked just fine.
Now we need.
Now we need to find one in the water. We also need.
There's no water in this room.
So let's see if I. Okay, I attacked it, but I don't know if I. Okay, so it exploded.
When you touched it?
No, No, it collided, I think, with the ground. Or something. Yeah, as it was growing, is my bet. There it collided with something else. Yeah. So.
Worked. Huh? Wait, huh?
Yeah. So, in my opinion, it's colliding with something.
Something is making it die in that spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Not here. So it's not happening here. This means it cannot be in this area. It's got to have to be... Okay, so that's working. Basically, almost everything is working with some exceptions. One of them is the weirdness of the bomb exploding there. We need to find out why.
Maybe we can do a debug or something, like a debug log. To find out what it's colliding with.
Yeah, probably. Okay, there it is. So I don't see any obvious situation here.
Yeah.
It doesn't look to me like it's touching the ground. It might have done though. Yeah, so let's debug log on here. So go debug.log.
Oops.
Open around. No need for quote, just C dot attach rigid body dot transform dot name or dot game object dot name. Yeah, it works. Okay, dot name. Close the round, semicolon. So let's see. In chat, they're calling you son again. It's alright. I fell in the water.
There's a ladder.
Let's get out.
He fell.
Slice and dice. Okay.
There we go. Player.
Player.
What?
Oh, I think I know. The vision cone acts as a...
Oh, because the vision cone saw the player?
And it's a trigger.
Oh.
Yeah. So my solution isn't really valid. Yeah, because the problem is these are compound colliders. The way it works is, let me explain it to you briefly. When you have one rigid body at the root, every collider that exists sub this acts as its own thing. So the vision cone, right, has a mesh collider but doesn't have a rigid body.
Yeah.
Let's add a rigid body.
Okay. And then block everything and...
Yeah, it's kinematic. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. So let's just make it completely blocked.
Okay.
This one is trigger, so it should be okay, but it should trickle to this. So it shouldn't trickle all the way down.
Okay.
Maybe.
Let's see.
That's cheating a bit though. That I wasn't expecting though. I expected some weird rotation so that it would think that it's on the ground. I'm chasing its gaze. Alright. Yeah, it's worked.
Past the clear point.
Ow.
Boom.
I got hurt in the butt. Okay, so the last thing we need to verify is an edge case. Well, we need to check.
An edge case and water.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant by edge case. An edge case means an extreme situation.
Oh.
Okay, so that's working fine. Heart. Winning. Perish. It's pretty gruesome. Million blood.
It's not that much. There's some of the blood is just squares.
There's loads of it. Oh dear.
Oi.
Our super bug, which gets auto-fixed. Welcome to cheap solutions to rigid body problems. Yeah. Should have done something a lot better than that, I can tell you that, but that's okay.
Well, it works.
Yeah, sort of. Actually, wait, we need to go to the next area here. This is.
Oh, yes, here bombs can go in water. Oops.
Vase. That's normal. It exploded into the vase.
Mm-hmm.
I left, Potato Daddy.
That vase has nothing in it.
A fridge. There's so little room. I keep on exiting by mistake.
Over there, there's a lot more room.
There's more room and there's a bomb like right in front of us.
Get over here. You made him notice you too early. Whoop, into the water and then boom.
Yeah, I think that's alright in the end of the day. That's weird, we didn't leave a ladder there.
Maybe you got covered by the walls that we added.
I think it blew up, but well underwater.
Hi.
Okay. So, let me think. So that was against the ground there. My back is hurting right now for some reason. Okay, so that was near the ground, and that worked. There still is no collision in the water, it looks like. Why? The only possibility I see is that enemy doesn't collide with water in the physics settings. So here's the water, the sea, and combined mesh root, whatever. So C, and there's the box collider, and it's all the way down there.
Yeah.
So it should work. So yeah, the only possibility I see is that in the physics settings we have an issue with the enemy not colliding with the water, as I thought. And now it should work. Let's just teleport left. Okay, I'm getting these fantastic spikes in my back of pain. I don't know why. So if you hear me sort of struggling, people on the internet.
Skate.
Oh, that makes sense, because its feet connect with the water and then it just runs along it. Right? That makes perfect sense, but it's not the trigger that collides with the water.
Which means we need to make the trigger bigger, right?
No, because then we're going to have the opposite problem when he dies when he touches the ground. So here's what we're going to do. Save. And it should be a special death where the bomb fizzles and doesn't really kill you or something like that.
Because its fuse should stop being lit.
Yeah, something like that. So it should just go poof. But we need a different explosion, different sound, different everything. Yeah, die, enemy bomb, explode, enemy shield, blah blah blah. Put a boolean here. Additional bool, call it. So it's generic. Equals false. False and sealed. I don't even know what that means. No semicolons, banana. Copy additional bool, paste it here. Bool. This one's gonna be called is harmless or harmless. Lowercase h. Harmless. And if it's not harmless, then we're fine. If it is harmless, then we have a problem. Save this. So enemy bomb harmless. And if harmless, we don't have to look for any attached rigid bodies, etc. Transform CS, overlap sphere, force CS, E take damage, take damage, explosion damage, instantiate, blah blah blah. Instantiate PFX, raycast, take damage, break object, enemy take damage, and player take damage. Yeah. So here you're gonna say, right here after the PFX, you go if open round, not harmless. Close round, open the squiggle, and close it. Save. Alright, now in the enemy, you're going to say die, and this one is die true. Save. So if the feet hit the water and it's a hit, it's not a trigger, right? You are going to explode but not cause any damage, and then what we need to do is we need to get a new particle system and a new sound for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, see, I didn't get hurt even though it exploded very close to me.
Yep.
Okay, so that's exactly correct. Let's make that particle system right now, I suppose, and all of that stuff.
And then grab
so
the sound.
PFX, duplicate PFX explosion. Rename this one PFX fizzle explosion. Now that I think about it, we should also have the splash in the water. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a moment. PFX, what am I doing? I'm looking at that material. What a potato. Prefabs, PFX, duplicate PFX explosion. Rename this one to fizzle explosion. Yeah. Alright, let's take a look at it. So the primary problem of this explosion is the red, right? The fire sort of thing.
And the smoke.
Smoke is fine. We want to keep the smoke. It's the idea of fizzling. So I can't remember. Do we have the tools on? We don't. Dang it. Okay, so I think it's main. It's main and flash. So the flash may also go. Yeah, so let's turn the flash on again. Yeah, so the flash is this big sort of thing, and I think we need to basically remove it. So there it goes. Now main should be just the fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want main, basically. And let's turn these two on, see what happens. Okay, so we got the sparks. Let's change the spark colors to basically black. I'm tempted to remove the sparks as well. So you're only left with the smoke. And let's make it much
smaller and faster.
Yeah, probably. So start lifetime is 5. My bad. Start lifetime is between 4 and 7. Reduce it to 2 and 4. Okay. Part start size 0.25, 0.5. Okay. And less speed as well. So it's 1.5, 3. It's a bit much too. And size over lifetime. Let's go small. Something like that. And generally I think color over lifetime should be dark. So this one's going a very dark gray, and that's fine, but I think we want it darker. Okay. Now we would need a fizzle sound. And we also need that instantiation, let's see, right here. So here it says explosion template, and as you can see it's in the infrastructure. So let's copy this, paste it here, and add the word fizzle. Yeah. And copy, and here you go, harmless, question mark. Harmless, question mark. Let's put a space here. And now paste. Space, colon, close, another space. Yeah, save. Okay, so that should be good. Now, another thing we need to take a look is the fizzle explosion. Makes an SFX called explosion. So we need a new SFX called fizzle.
Yep. Need to go find it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put headphones on now. I don't want the sound to bleed, so maybe we can make it bleed a tiny bit so you can hear it when we choose the sound.
Okay.
Can you hear this? Can you hear it?
Yes.
I suspect this is gonna bleed a bit, but that's okay. So you game development projects, common audio, something that fizzles. I think this one could have distant stuff under explosion, fire, gas. It has a couple of fizzling sounds. Stop burnout. It takes a moment to launch.
But 224 gigabytes.
This was better. Still quiet. It could be quiet because my volume may be low. So all of these are good, but they're kind of missing an initial oomph of some sort. So we could use one of these with this one as well. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're gonna import these into audio, SFX. There should be explosions, and create this one fizzle and enter, and then another one distant. And now we're gonna grab all of these, put them in distant, and then the fizzles here.
Okay.
But we're actually gonna need a splash of water, so there's gonna be quite a few sounds all playing at the same time. We also have an issue. If we're gonna play both of them, our current PFX system doesn't really work very well with that, so we need to go modify that. Yeah, let's do one thing at a time. So let's begin by going to our audio manager and adding two sounds. These two sounds are gonna be volumes, clips. So 0 and 0. Now I'm gonna lock this. Then I'm gonna go to my explosions distant, drag them all and drag them in, paste them in here, and then explosions fizzle, grab them all and paste them in here. So this one you want to call explosion, no, lowercase, explosion distant. And this one you want to call fizzle. Okay, now let's track the explosion, how loud it is. 0.5 to 0.7. Let's no 0.8 and 1. Let's do them both.
Okay.
I think this is probably going to be too quiet, but okay. So there we go, explosion distance, etc. So these have been done. Now we need to go and add them as enums. So you want explosion distant comma fizzle. Save. Fizzle. Save. Okay. So these are done. Now the problem is our PFX self manager isn't sufficiently robust for this. So we need to go and modify it. And it needs to be to happen in every bloody one here for the SFX. So for PFX SFX type, I want you to change this to an array and call it SFXs. Equals new space tab square bracket 1 open squiggle, well, close the square bracket first, open squiggle space tab dot none, close squiggle, done, save. Now you're gonna say for tab copy SFXs, paste it, dot length, and capital L for some reason, because you don't hit tab, that's why. Cut this, paste it, copy this, paste it, square bracket I, and paste it, square bracket I. Now it supports multiple sounds. Save. All played at the same time. Not particularly clever, but it'll do. So all of them are now broken. Every one of these. So death, blood, I think they both had none. Explosion though should have explosion. So SFXs, change the first one to explosion. Fizzle explosion though will have two of them, which is going to be explosion distant and fizzle.
Wouldn't it be 3 counting for the splash in the water?
No, the splash needs to be affected. It needs to be triggered in another way.
Oh.
I do coin. I bet you that these are controlled externally, so we're gonna leave it on none. Vase break. This one may have something. Stomp, sword punch, coin, save point, player,
Vase
tag,
break.
vase break. So this may be it. Water splash big. No idea. Sword, monster, final attack, stomp, kick, whoosh up, save point, player, attack, vase break, jingle, new, place, step, metal. I suspect this one is not really here. Yeah, I think these are all called on their own, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's test it. We may be wrong, right? Yeah. So the splish splash is happening irrespective of the particle system, right? So now what we could do is encode when the bomb falls into the water here. We can create that same concept as the player. So the player should have a transition to water somewhere. No idea. It should be land, probably. So interactive entity.
Land water, I think it's called.
Swim land. Or sea. Land water. Okay, copy these. And put them right here. Paste. Save. Okay, so it's going to be transfer position, vector up. Yeah, all of this should be correct. And now when a bomb falls into the water, we should get a splash and a fizzle in both particle systems. No, because we forgot to assign the particle system to the prefab. Ay, ay, ay. It should be under enemy bomb right here. Test. Darn it. We still need to do the auto-drown, meaning when you drown, stuff happens. There you go.
Yep.
So it went psst, and also the splash was there.
Yeah.
So it's a few many sounds, but yeah, I think that's fine.
We did it.
Okay, now there's one thing that we actually said we kind of wanted to do, and we've been wanting to do it for ages. We only have 15 minutes, so I think this is a good enough thing to do. So we've already improved the bomb, so it follows using the velocity. We have encountered a few problems. It's something that we're going to keep in mind when we're dealing with the guard.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Alright, so one thing that we wanted to fix for a while is the fact that you wanted to have some kind of like forced drown system. Forced drown system. Apparently I cannot say the word drown today. So forced drown, right?
What does that mean?
Well, that when you fall in the water, you sometimes have to wait for ages before he drowns, and then you can go back, and it's kind of annoying, right? I would prefer for that not to be forced. So fire to down terrain is ground, then start attack. And that's if get button down. So I'd like to hold a button to drown. Which one do you think we should hold? Jump? A or B? A, Pearl, you will be good.
Yeah.
Alright.
A is the button for picking things up, right?
Yes. So put an else right here. Yeah. And we're gonna need an insta-drown time. So here, private, float, insta-drown time. Yeah. And in the rules...
Quaternion?
No, what for?
Thought we were gonna... Because we had a time, I thought we were gonna do a quaternion.
Hey? Excuse me? Where does this come from? Because we have a time, we thought we were gonna do a quaternion. Why are you saying this?
Because we usually have durations when we do it.
And the duration and a quaternion are related in what way?
I didn't mean quaternion. Coroutine.
Coroutine, that's much better. Quaternion is a rotation. I was like, what? What is... She's crazy. Okay, so ladder... I don't think we need that. So here we need a serialized field. Private float. And call this one insta-drown duration.
Don't time and duration mean the same thing?
Sort of. No, time means a passive time, and duration is how long it needs to pass. So give it, say, 2 seconds, so 2F. Save. Alright, now, every time we're going to press the key, irrespective of the situation, we are going to set the insta-drown time to whatever. So go insta-drown time equals 0F. And here, if we are in downturn state water, so copy all of this, paste it. Actually, we forgot something else as well. copy this, paste it here, whoops, and undo. Just undo again, I don't know what happened. I could undo again, yeah. Now you want to paste it here. Alright, so get button instead of get button down. So if you're holding the button fire, if you are in the water,
trying to press tab.
Okay. If you're in the water and you're holding the fire button, what we're going to do is ask, copy this, paste it here, lower than insta-drown duration, copy, paste, plus equals time dot delta time. Time dot delta time. There it is, semicolon. Right, so this is the amount of, you didn't hit Control S, you pressed Shift S or something. Okay, so now it's gonna keep on going up. Else, if it's gone up enough, hit enter twice, semicolon, and yeah, save. Type anything here, like as. There, that's enough. So we have an error, so we can go back to it. Now I need to find the routine of the oxygen. Control M. The routine of the oxygen management routine has oxygen falls through drown. That's what we want. So copy this. And because we have an error, paste it here and save. And that's literally all.
What?
That's literally all.
Oh.
So the way it works is you're holding the button down. So if you just press the button, we're always going to reset the time.
Yeah.
Just no questions. If you then are holding it, irrespective of whether you're in the water, on the land, it doesn't matter. If you then haven't pressed the button down, but you're holding it and you're in the water, if insta-drown time is lower than the duration, then just increase the insta-drown time. Otherwise, drown. So this should work with A. Let's test it. I should be able to just jump into the water. There. Now 2 seconds may be a bit long.
I think it's good.
Not sure. I think I would probably prefer 1 second. So all we gotta do is find the player, which apparently has a prefab 2. And in the rules, we need to find insta-drown duration, put 1 second, see if that's better. More immediate. Yeah, I prefer this. You can do it and remain immune if you're still in the vulnerability time. You can even hold it in advance. So I'm already holding it now. Holding A right now. Perfect. I like this. This is good UX. And if you fall into water, release, press it again, release, press it again, release, press it again. So if you're tapping, it doesn't happen. If you press and hold, then it works. It's working absolutely perfectly, I think. So that should be fine. Alright. Did you notice something? There's something that bothers me. What happens? The blood appears in the water when you are teleported.
Yeah. Well, you did die in the water.
I know, but it looks a bit stupid. I think I would prefer when you drown to... Let's see what happens here. Return player to land. Take damage. Okay, cut, take damage. Put it right here. Save. That's it. So what's going to happen now is that the blood, I think, will appear on land, on our head, which I think is much more consistent. So I'm holding the A button already. There. I much prefer this.
Yeah.
right? The one thing that's kind of missing is that when you get removed from the water, there's no particle in the water, but I think we'll be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the drowning is so much better than before. Having to wait was terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds good. I think we can conclude the episode for this time. It was a bit of a more low-key one, but we did do some fixes to problems that were there for ages. So now the bombs are fixed and they work exactly as they should. We are fixed and we work exactly as we should in the water. So I think it's a win-win-win.
Yep.
And we'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.